be brought to you by Golden City Group. I am your host, Glory James, aka Energy. And I'm not doing this alone, I'm doing this with no other than
Ogunbola Benjamin Ayodele, aka Oba Inspires.
the fight in your introduction is too much, man of God.
Excuse me, deal with it. Deal with it.
So I feel really excited, Benjamin, about today's episode, particularly because our guest, he has teeth.
My God.
He has swag.
I can feel it.
Even the feet go. You know when he
It's
entered,
palpable.
see how he felt when we
My
saw him now.
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have no other
Woo.
than MX Kodeblack.
Kodeblack.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
Welcome. We're so excited to have you. You look amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Amazing.
you.
And you didn't disappoint me. I mean, I was expecting to see you on black.
Oh, for real? Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And do you appear in your events like on black always? Or?
Well, I always like that touch of black, you know what I mean? Because, like the name implies, MX
Amazing.
Kodeblack.
Wow.
Yeah.
What inspired that name?
You see, me growing up, I've always wanted to speak for the blacks, for Africans, like,
Wow.
Yeah, so I just thought about it and I'd be like, when there's a situation or something and I found out that maybe the economy or political, crisis or whatever coming up in Nigeria or in the world, I just feel the blacks should always speak. So I just want to be like the mouthpiece for the blacks. Yeah, that's just what's up. So
that's deeper than
that's
I
the
thought.
name.
I
See
mean,
when he's talking, Ben.
I can feel the voice of the black in him. Like, amazing.
And you
thank
are
God.
so confident, and it's beautiful to see. Even the way you bodied the color of black. Most times when we see black, we always think burial, bad things. But when I see you on black, I think confidence, I think elegance.
Thank you so much.
Boldness,
And I think it's God's grace,
Woo!
I'm truly grateful.
Rachel.
Now a man of God.
Amazing. Don't take the man of God away from me.
No,
you
not at
understand,
all. Not at all.
So tell us about MX Kodeblack. What is your story? How did your journey into gospel music start?
That's a very large one, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just start from somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, I'm a rap artist, and I'm also a producer and a sound engineer. It all started 2000, the year 2000.
2000.
Yes, I was born and brought up. Sorry, I'm deviating a little bit just because I'd like to
Amazing.
take it way back. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. So I was born in KD, Kaduna. So after the crisis in KD 2000, they call it Sharia law and all that. Yeah, a lot of young guys, a lot of us were stranded. Had nothing to do, no movement, no work, and all that. So, so doing, we sat down and started thinking of what to do. And God has a way of making you do what He wants you to do.
Amazing.
So back then we kept hearing artists and people singing, and music was something I loved so much, but I couldn't do it because I never tried. So it took some time. I sat down. So I even got to a point where I was telling my dad, my parents, if they don't get me a system to do music, I won't go to school. It was so bad. No, for real. Like,
That's the voice of
I
Africa.
sat down. I fell in love with music, that I really wanted to do this thing. And when I hear people rapping, I'd be like, God, or I hear them singing. I mean, I'm always touched, So I did something way back that, I'm not supposed to say this on air, but I'm saying this, for, just for clarity purpose and all that. So I got CDs of artists. And I kept listening. So when somebody says, I was trying to groom myself on how to, rap and all that. So when I hear someone says, let's say something like, I'm just giving an example. You say, I'm hot like fire. I'll be like, okay, what's hot again? And I'll be like, okay, I'm hot like the sun. So I said, okay. So I start writing, I was like, so I was literally copying, but I was, making my own lyrics from somebody's own. And then we had friends around that were into music, and when they sat down, they were rapping, and I was like, God, do I, unveil myself by doing something for them to hear? And I was like, they will say, this guy, you were copying, So I said, okay, let me just try. And the first time I did something, they were like, whoa, MX, this is you did this. I was like, oh, is this the music? I know how to do it. So I went back and I got CDs, a lot of CD plates, and started listening to CDs, to artists, and I was writing. And then my parents felt I was going nuts because, I was supposed to go into school then. And they were like, you can't be doing this. I was like, no, Daddy, I really want to. It got to a point I wasn't even eating because of music. So they forcefully, in fact, they went off their way to get me the system and said, okay, this is what you're asking now. Let us hear a word. I was like, good. And I sat down, I started, the process. I mean, it's a long journey, but I'm just trying to summarize.
Yeah.
I had to go try to get software to see how I can, start producing. At first, I was going on internet. I'll go to a cafe. I'll sit down and I'll pay for time. Instead of browsing, I am busy using the software to just, practice. But to cut the long story short, this is me. This is I. Music is me. And the journey so far, you know what I mean?
Absolutely killing it.
Oh, for real.
You're definitely killing it. Well done.
It's God's grace, man. I always say that. It's God's grace.
Amazing.
So you said something about being a producer, being an artist, and being a sound engineer. You are a man of many talents.
Oh, thank you.
We celebrate grace.
We celebrate grace, sir.
Oh, thank you.
So which
Thank
one
you.
did you start first?
No, I started with rapping. I started, yes, as an artist, and I fell in love with music because I fell in love with production because I found that I wanted to create my own sound. And then, it's always when you go to a studio to record, that's one of the reasons why I always connect with artists. When I see an artist and he's trying to maybe craft his sounds or something, and I'll be like, I know where you're coming from, because I always hear sounds. I don't know how to explain it, and I always want to bring it out. And when you're with the producer and you tell him, I'm sorry, can I have something like maybe ting, ting, ting? He'll be like, man, just let me do my thing. I'm the producer. And you have to take what the producer is giving to you. So I sat back and it kept troubling me, and I needed to go into the music. So I started with rap, then into production, and it's got me here right now.
Amazing. I heard you say something about your parent. How do they feel about where you've gotten to?
Trust me, those guys don't try. I troubled them a lot. Growing up, my studio was in the house. So you can imagine sleepless nights for them and all that. But, no, but that's it. Sometimes 5 o'clock, I'm still up, 5 a.m., the drums are hitting from the speakers, and they just, they had to live with it because, it started really fast. From that time music started financially, it started paying gradually. So they were like, okay, this thing this guy is doing is what's bringing this, so they could deal with the sound and the noise and all that. But they've really played a vital role in my life.
Yeah, because your passion was now bringing money.
That's the point, and I was supporting the home too with it. So they were like, okay, so you mean this thing you're doing, just this system can actually make people come here and they give you their money? And I was like, yeah. So I started with rap, then the production thing.
You have such an interesting story. I mean, not everybody had parents that supported
That's right.
their music vision. So I feel like give your parents a shout out or
Yeah. Shout out.
shout out to your
your
parents. Do they
parents.
call you MX Kodeblack?
Yeah, my mom calls me that.
MX Kodeblack, one name.
No, no, my mom calls me that. My dad is strict with my name. He knows, but he's just strict with the name, though.
Okay, that's absolutely beautiful. So you've had such an interesting journey. You talked about the war back in Kaduna.
Yeah.
So what would you consider a very significant achievement in your journey? What was that thing that at the moment you smashed the goal, you were like, I made it. What was that thing?
Okay, I've been doing music since 2000, like I said. But you see, 2018 was when I knew, okay, yes, I had that major impact in music. I would say the first was dropping my album. Yes, I have an album, The Craftsman. Yeah, Craftsman, the album. You can check it out, MX Kodeblack, Craftsman, the album. So
Craftsman album.
yeah, that's what's up. So, but I won't lie to you, one of the major, one thing that has given me joy so much to know that I have actually made an impact is being able to touch lives positively. Because growing up, I had so many friends into different things, and when they look at me, they be like, he's always forming like he's the holiest and all that. But I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? But, I didn't joke at all with the music. So I would say touching the lives of my friends and people around me, and then being able to reach out to the world at large was one big thing, when people come and they tell you, I'd be opportune to go to a church and minister or in a concert, and then you hear people coming to you like youths and they be like, my God, I was blessed by your song. If this is rap, if this is gospel rap, I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, of course, this is rap. Like for me, I just feel, he talks and I just write. Like God, so what comes out will always touch people. And, even before I started doing mainly before I started doing gospel music, I wasn't doing the kind of songs I was singing way back wasn't negative songs, like songs that will, push you negatively. Now, it was more like motivational, inspirational, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't say I wasn't doing gospel music because I still feel, serving God is not just going to the church to sing your song, because I feel people in the church already know about Jesus, and that's why they're there. So what about those on the street?
Wow.
So I sometimes pick up topics and ask God to direct me on what to say about it. You could speak about Nigeria, you could speak about a particular situation and put it in music and then push it out, and then I get that positive response from people, how touched and all that. So I think, God has been able to use me to affect life positively, and that's one thing I'm grateful for.
Awesome. You said something very important. You said he speaks and you write.
Mm-hmm.
And can you just give us a brief run through into your creative process? How people can be, you want to be careful about the lyrics you're putting together and yet stay spiritual. So can you just give us a breakdown?
Okay, but first of all, you should be able to, as a Christian, you must be able to study the Word of God. That's one. I said it in one of my songs, stay fresh in the Lord. When you walk by faith and not by sight. But how do you walk by faith and not by sight if you don't know the word? So you go back to the word. That will help you, keep you in check and all that. Now, not just studying the word of God. Sometimes it's like how I tell people, we pray, and then we'll be like, nothing is happening. What's taking so long? God is not answering. But you prayed. So why don't you wait and listen? I don't know if you understand. We jump, we just pray, and then we're out, we move. The same way you pray, take some time to pray. Give God that time. Sit down and let him speak. So my music, actually, when I say he speaks and I just write, I had this mindset that my life is like I have a chalk in my hand. Okay, like you either teach or you destroy. Yeah, you can you write what you want with your life. You can do whatever you want. That's one good thing God has given to each and every one of us. You have the freedom to decide. You want to go be bad, that's you. But he has told you this is what to do. So I always give that time. When I pray, I just let whatever I've submitted to him. So I let the rest just go. I sit down, I hear words, I write down, I thank him for it. And then when it comes out, people be like, man, it makes this song sick. And I'll be like, we thank God. So sometimes people ask, do you sleep and dream? Songs come to you? Yes, it has happened to me. I've woken up timelessly with ideas. Like with songs, sometimes I wake up, I'm still sleepy and I'm recording voice notes and all that. Sometimes I'll be in a bus when I was growing up and I can hear the sounds. I'm just heading to the studio to just drop it the same way. It's just God all the way, trust me. It's none of me, but all of him. That's the truth.
None of me, but all of
Oh, you guys just keep picking it.
That's a wrap.
Oh, God.
I will jot it
down.
all of.
Come on.
What
do you mean?
Inspired when I spoke to you earlier.
Okay.
I'm also more inspired knowing your why. Hearing you say that people in the church know about Jesus. How about those outside?
Yes.
You want
huge responsibility.
All men celebrate endless life in Christ Jesus, and
that's it.
Absolutely amazing.
That's it.
Sometimes as Christians we forget these things. We get carried away.
That's it.
Which leads me to my next question. I really want to know because you're fighting for the salvation of men. The devil will not just look at you with your crazy talent and be like, keep going. So have you had any circumstance where it seemed like the other side was going to pay you more? Maybe they called you for one show like that and the money was very enticing. How did you navigate that? If there was ever any
okay.
that?
You see, my life, oh God. Okay. I've been in Katy. I was born in Katy. I was called to Lagos. production. A label, I wouldn't be calling names, so please permit me. I was called under a record label. I saw a lot in Lagos. The life was very fast. Yeah, really fast. I'll say it was fast for me. You know, I'm speaking for myself, so I say it was fast for me because my mom is a deaconess in Living Faith Church, and my dad is an elder, so you can tell the background where I'm coming from. So I went to Lagos, and they called me to be a producer, not an artist. But what I saw in Lagos, my God, like, I won't lie to you. Oh no. Like, okay, there was money. It was in Lagos I started going to clubs. And because I was under the label, you had to do what they want you to do. I had so many experience. Like, I in the house, you had people smoking, people, I mean, the environment is always cloudy. That's how bad. So I called my mom and I was like, I know I'm sending money home. I know money's coming. I mean, I was opportune to buy the first car. It was a Premier, Toyota Premier, like Sienna, you know, back then. And my dad was like, you know, you can be there and not be like them. And I was like, oh my goodness. And my mother was like, no, my son, you need to come back home. You know, I know, because she didn't want me to lose it at any point. But my dad was like, you know, there's a way you can, because the money was coming and all that. So, you know, I won't lie to you. I saw a lot in Lagos. It was crazy. You know, I don't want to call artists. Most of the guys on top there, we started music together. You know, the secular guys and all that, we started music together. And even when I got to Lagos, they were like, MX, now you're in Lagos, your voice will be heard. I had songs, I was opportune to perform in different events. And when I go out, the response is crazy. So you'll be like tempted because anywhere you go, you sing, everybody, I mean, girls, money, you see everything. And I was like, God, and thank God for, you know, my background. So I had, you know, certain friends, pastors and prophets that spoke to me even before I left. And I was given a lot of instructions and things. So when I was seeing all these things playing out, I already, you know, it was like I was informed already. So I called my parents and I told them, trust me, it can't be me there. And I had to leave. So when I got to KD, people thought, man, you know, the music didn't work for MX. You know, MX, are you sure? Maybe MX is not really gifted. And I was like, okay, that's okay if they think that way, because they didn't see, they were not in my shoes to see what I went through. And honestly, if it wasn't God, probably I'll be doing one of those. I'll be in that circle, trust me, because I left, came back to KD, and it was more frustrating because I saw money. I was in with money, and then I returned back to nothing. And I didn't tell them I was leaving. I just told the label I was going back home for a friend's wedding, and that was me. I never went to Lagos again. Then I got this deal to work in Onitsha as a sound engineer, and then a producer. So I was in a movie industry. I was scoring the moods.
You
know,
hot,
no, so well, just like I said, God's grace, my dear. It's God's grace, you know. God's grace. So, but I was not answering MX Kodeblack because I wanted it as my artist name. So I was answering my real name, Emeka Ezeagula. So even if you check the illiterate online, it was Yo Ledoche, Tonto DK. We did a couple of movies and all that, you know. Then I saw something again. I think this is actually God's divine arrangement that I'll be asked these questions, you know. So what I saw in the movie industry was really crazy because I was given a house where to stay. Every week I was paid 60K back then, you know. I was big money then, and I wasn't doing anything. I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, you know. There was nowhere to spend the money, so I'm always indoors, you know, just work and all that. So there was money. But now, I asked the guys working there, the editors and everybody, guys, what's going on? I go into your rooms and you guys are paid the same money I'm paid, and you guys are still using box TV, and they'd be like, you know, it's their choice and all that. I was like, okay. So I kept wondering what's happening until I found out that the owner of the label or the movie company was like, every morning he said everybody should come to work as early as 5:36, and then when we come, he makes provision for breakfast. And I don't eat early because that was how I grew up producing. I could stay up till 11, 10 before eating. And then these guys were like, our guy is not happy that you must take breakfast. I was like, guy, what's up with the breakfast? Me, I don't. If I eat, I'll get lazy. Then the news got to him. Then he called me, Emeka, you must take this tea. And I was like, sir, he said this tea is from US. I was like, sir, me, I don't want the tea. In fact, the fact you're telling me now that it's compulsory is why I'm questioning it. And then the man was like, Emeka, he was now threatening me and then hitting the table. You must take this tea. I was like, if you...
Scary, sir.
Okay, it got to that point where I stopped. He noticed I stopped, and that was when I had the first encounter, knowing that, you know, when they tell you, some people will tell you, you know, I don't believe in what do you call it? I don't believe in rituals. I don't believe in I don't believe the diabolical stuff and all that. That night was hell for me.
What?
You know, we just finished gisting with my friends. You know, it's a staff quarter, so I went into my room and only for me to come out. And then when I woke up in the night because it was like razor on my neck, and I was screaming Jesus throughout. And then I woke up and I saw like 3 prints of like I was pressed. Really? I went to my neighbor and I was like, please look at what's happening to me. And then I don't know what happened. Like, you know, there's this thing they call sandfly. Like when it beats you and you scratch it, it starts swelling up. So I just saw me that just went to sleep. My body was, you know, loaded and all that. And I was like, guy, what's going on? They were like, MX. Nobody came out. They were like, just go pray. You get anointing oil. You go. And I knew it was just me alone. I went in and I started crying. I was praying. I was calling my parents. They were praying on the phone. Credit got finished, you know, in the night, like 2 o'clock. You know, and then I turned to God and I was like, okay, I think maybe this is it because nobody to help me, you know. And then I remembered I had this Cobam song, I might be stuck in this world with nowhere to go, but that doesn't change the fact that God is God anyway. So I just kept playing it and I slept off because I felt it was over. And I woke up the next morning and I went to work and this man got his eyes like this looking at me. And then he was not like, and they've been owing me. And they stopped paying me because they found out I had flat screen TV, I had ACs in my room. I was using my money to furnish. And then the guy stopped paying me. And then when I come, I said, sir, he was like, Emeka, are you okay? I said, I'm very okay, sir. I said, sir, is there a reason why we're not being paid? He was like, Emeka, if you want some money, the company will sign. They will give you some money. When they pay, we'll deduct it. But right now, we cannot pay you any money. The people have not paid. I was like, okay, can I get 10,000? They say, yes, sign it. The next day, can I get money? They say, sign it. I was like, sir, but if you can be signing 10,000, why can't you can just pay me when those people pay? He was like, Emeka, we don't do that. And then he kept hitting the table and was telling me, if you don't do this, you are trying to make my staff. I was like, sir, for the first time, I was like, sir, honestly, if I slap you, you will fall down. Because he was like, I will slap you if you... I was like, sir, me? If I slap you, you are owing me. I've been working, and I noticed it was him. Because you can't be asking me if I'm okay in the morning. I'm very okay, and I told you I'm okay, and I wasn't okay then. You know? But you see, just like I said with faith, I said I was okay, and I moved on. But guess what? It was really crazy. The experience was crazy, but it made me to know God more. And then I knew that, okay, it was only God through that night because humans, no one could help me. And then I now knew that there were, you know, when I hear people say, hey, I know they do gospel music, I know they do secular. Then what are you doing? So I always tell people, if you're not for God, don't waste your time. Just go straight for the devil because the devil exists. So don't worry about it, you know. So I left Onitsha and then I got back again to KD and people were like, this guy, because in KD, when people hear my voice, they be like, this is, MX is going to make it. MX is this, MX is that. And then I got back to KD, they were like, what's going on? This guy went to Lagos, he's back. He went to Onitsha, he's back. But they didn't ask the questions you're asking me now, you know? So, and then when I was about to leave, I asked my parents again, I was like, I'm going to ABJ. I'm going to kneel down, I want you guys to bless me. I don't want to come back without a result. And they did, and that's me here in ABJ. Wow, and I am proud and I'm happy that I'm serving God, and I'm truly grateful for the experience because it made me to know Him more. You know, so I don't know if I've answered your questions because I said so much though. Okay.
Amazing. And you know, we want to make sure this has a way of impacting the younger generation.
True.
Right? I
True.
believe there are people presently at the phase where you were at years ago.
True.
So is there a balance to it? Because we see people asking the questions of, can I be a gospel artist like you, a producer, and still produce for the other side? Do you understand?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
is there a business to what you're doing, and then a part where you're still on?
Now you see, I think it all boils down to how you relate with God. Like I have so many producers that will tell you, I don't produce secular songs. I just do strictly gospel. Okay, that's for me. That's what they understand, and that's how they relate and operate with God.
Okay.
Now, I am this kind of person that I know I've been given the gift to produce, so I produce all genres, all type of music, and regardless the type of music you bring to me. But when you come to me and I'm producing, you will know who I am. Because when you say something that is off, when you sing something that is off, I advise you as a friend and as a brother that, man, this is not, I think, for me, I feel this is another way to preach to people, because it's like how you say, I just want to sing in a church. And then you go into the church and you're singing. The people in the church already knows that God is great. They already know Jesus exists. But now how do you go out to the people outside? If I go out to a drunkard or somebody outside and I'm telling him, you got to stay fresh in the Lord. Yeah, this is it. Jesus is this. He loves you. They'll be like, this one well. But now I come out and the kind of songs I will sing to you, we'll be like, whoa, I love this song. And I tell you it's gospel. You'll be like, are you serious? Then when you pay close attention, you hear the words inside. So I don't produce just gospel music. As my own songs, I'm a gospel artist. My songs are gospel, no doubt. But the business part of it, you bring your songs to me, I produce them. But you will always remember. So sometimes I don't have some people come back, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I know they've encountered something, so it's left for them to decide.
Yeah.
That's okay. But I produce all genres or type of music, and I try to also relate with the artist. Let you know that this thing you're doing, do you think is right? Will it affect people positively? Do you think? And sometimes I try not to overknock them so they become my friends. And then when you're my friend, you see my lifestyle, you also want to tilt into it. And then, God be praised for it.
Amazing.
So you've talked about the side of you that is a producer. You've talked about how that you were a sound engineer in Onitsha.
Yeah.
Now I want to hear you rap. See, let's not lie. You only rap like this is ayo. Chicken, they cry for night. I want to hear you rap. I want to experience this creative
okay.
that you have going on. So
Okay.
just freestyle for us.
Okay. I'll do something because what I'll do is I would like to use this opportunity to tell the word about my God. And I know I can't say it, I'll just say it in 1 minute, which is impossible, but I'll try to summarize in 1 minute so I don't take so much of your time.
Okay.
So the truth is, when you talk of God, I'll tell you mine is invisible. Look, he's way beyond the physical. He's got the highest technology, miracle. Describe my life in one word, biblical. I don't mean a God that gives and collects. I mean a God that showers me with gifts and connects. Woo! He forgives and forgets. Trust me, he lives in a mix. With concrete reasons to be the best amongst the rest. I don't boast in myself, because that's lame, bro. I boast in him, and he alone makes the pain go. And then my life gets colorful, rainbow. He calms the storm, because we are in the same boat. Other gods in their ways are so simple, but mine is the Lion of Judah and not bingo.
Okay.
So I think just a little bit about my God, and I hope I didn't bore you with that.
Oh, no. Wait.
How many voices do you have?
Yes. That's the question I'm about to ask.
Okay, you see.
How did you switch?
Now, because
Oh, okay, that's what I want to say. You see, like, this is real. This is me. But I don't like scaring people because when I go on stage, that's what you hear. When I'm in the studio, that's what you hear. But when I'm talking to you, I feel when I come up and I'll be like, yo, man, it's your boy. I'll be like, you'll be like, oh, hold on. So I try to keep it simple. Because if I said it that way, trust me, you want to move away from me. So, but now you can relate because we had blended, we understood ourselves and connected, and now the voice can come, and I think it's okay.
you have such a rare talent. And I love
Thank
what
you.
God is doing with you.
Thank you. That's God.
So one quick game before you go.
Okay, that's okay.
So it's called this or that. So you have to just choose one of two options. Are you ready?
Okay, I hope you're not going to take me
Okay.
by surprise, though.
Turkey or chicken?
Turkey.
Swallow or rice?
Rice.
Native or English?
English.
Cover shoes or palm sandals?
Cover shoes.
White or black?
It's black, man.
Obviously.
Oh, you can't get me with that one. Trust me, bro. You already know. Oh, no, come on. Then why am I on black? It has to be black. I'm truly grateful, and I thank God for you guys and for this great privilege for Golden City. I am truly honored to be here, and I pray that this will be a blessing to souls out there, and a blessing to you guys too. We thank God. That's what's up.
Amen.
Thank you. That's what's up. Come on, bro. That's it.
All right.
Okay, so this has been an amazing episode. I mean, it was so wholesome, Ben, right? So please remember to check MX Kodeblack on Instagram at MX Kodeblack 9802. You can tell this man is talented. So why are you sleeping on me? Connect with him. Send him a DM on how his music is inspiring you, and definitely keep in touch with him. Thank you so much for watching. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so
So
much.
before we go, just do something very light. So everybody will just on 1, 2, 3. We just say music and me. Okay? Does that work?
All right, that's okay.
All right. 1, 2, go.
Music and me.
Thank you.